in America, how cheap it is, and then
Yo,
all
what's
the
the
healthy
fast
stuff
food like
is
in
so
Mexico, bro?
expensive.
Yo, dude, yesterday I spent $40 on two burgers, and they are the best burgers I've had in my life.
Wait, what?
Damn,
Yesterday, yesterday I spent
insane.
$40 on two burgers. It
Mm.
was like it was one burger. It was a combo meal. I got one burger and curly fries, and then I got another burger.
That
Some
was
of
the
the
best
best
burger
burgers
you've
I've
ever
had
had.
in my life,
Crazy.
dude. Oh my god, that shit slapped.
Man, so that shit was hitting.
Yo,
Oh, dude,
there's no better burger than a Cheney burger right before
Yo,
close.
relax, relax,
It's
relax. Man's losing it.
Yo, that might have been the worst
We're
food I've ever had
losing
in my
John.
life.
Yeah,
dude.
damn right,
Like
bro.
minutes before close, they're trying to get out there. They undercooked that shit.
The food at our college was absolute dog. It was just
You guys gotta come out here,
except for the
bro.
omelets. Like
The
here and there,
food,
the omelets hit.
Yeah,
you guys gotta come out
most
here,
of the
bro.
time.
The food scene out here is crazy good. It's insane.
Yo, John, you trying to go see Daher in Mexico?
Of course. Just let me know. Let me know
Bet.
in advance.
I
I
need
need
like
like
Oh,
double
dude,
PTO. That's all. I just need more PTO.
you guys are welcome to come whenever, man. I have a 4 bedroom. It's fucking it's
So yo,
massive.
let me ask you, and I'm ignorant, so if I sound stupid, that's why. Um,
Uh, oh wait, chat can't hear you guys. How do we fix this?
The guy who got
fucking
kidnapped.
concentration camp,
No,
like the big
Wait,
oh
H.
no,
wait,
dude.
John,
It,
John,
it is
John, 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 John,
it's
guys,
super
guys, guys,
secret.
guys. I just opened the game and like it cut out the audio for Discord. So, John, can you repeat that from what you said about I might be ignorant?
Yeah, I was saying I might be ignorant, so excuse me if it's like a bad question, but I said, do you know of the YouTuber Arab? And he says, is that the guy who went to Haiti and got kidnapped? And I was like, yeah. So like, if I pull up, are they gonna take like me and George in like the back of a fucking like army car and like take us to a concentration camp like the Big H? And then he started answering his question.
Allied destroyer
John,
has
what do you
joined
think
the
Mexico is, bro?
orbital thruster.
I know there's bad parts. I don't know like I don't know where he lives. He said he lives in a pretty decent area. I have no idea.
No,
Like, I'm just picturing in my head. That's it.
I'm in
That's why I
Mexico.
said if I sound ignorant, I'm sorry.
I'm in Mexico City. It's like New York,
Yeah.
but south of the border. Dude, people here are super nice. You have no problem. Even the people who are in that life, where they, the cartel members. I think I might have mentioned this to you guys one of the few times that we talked. Dude, as long as you don't mess with them or you cause any issue with their business, they are super nice. I've had people buy me drinks
Nah,
and they
John's
got
gonna
fake
try
tests.
and go mess with him.
We
John's gonna be
are
like, very nice.
affiliated. Yeah, well, then I
Not
mean,
a big I'm all set with that. I'm gonna go troll him, be like, hey, I need like a dime. And then I just run off and then nothing, you cannot catch me.
dude, I'm not the biggest clubber. I'm not a big fan of going out. Like the wife knows this. I'm not the biggest fan of the outside when it comes to a lot of people. But the times that I have gone outside, I've gone clubbing. You'll meet people who are cartel affiliated, and they will just be like nice just to buy you drinks. They'll just be very kind to you. I mean, don't be a woman and don't like be a target because they'll.
You said don't beat a woman, like hit a woman.
Yeah.
This is the solemn duty.
Oh, I wasn't planning on it, but now. Fuck. We're just getting banned today.
Yeah, it's not looking good, boys.
It's like now that you say it.
I mean, actually, that
No,
was
dude,
my
they're
Saturday
good.
night plan, but now that you advise me otherwise, I guess I won't.
Yeah. I think I'll. think I'll hold off for now. Thanks for
So,
giving me that good advice.
there was a guy here who was Filipino American. So he's American, but his family's from the Philippines. And there's a lot of expats here, a lot of Americans, Europeans, and he was selling
immigrants. They are
fun.
expats. Like what kind of gentrifying word shit is this?
What is expats even mean? What
He's
the
an
fuck does that
immigrant, bro.
explain?
Yeah.
Patriots? What are they? Like Patriots fans? That's what I think of it. Fuck
It's a
expats.
fancy immigrant. It's an immigrant from the West.
Is that like saying?
George,
Is that
you're
like
right.
saying like a? Is that like saying like a fucking minority, or like a black person's like a POC? Is that like the same shit? Like you
No,
kind of
bro,
like weave around the
not
fucking
even
word.
close, bro. It's just like a fancy word. It's like a bougie word for immigrant. So like Westerners don't feel bad about like being immigrant since we attach a negative connotation to that in the West.
Now, George, you're 100% right. It's legitimately just that. People from the West that go to other countries call themselves expats. People from other countries that go to the West call them immigrants.
Right.
You're
Immigrants,
100% right,
it's a tough
George.
word. Like I'm a fucking immigrant, bro. I immigrated. Like that's tough, bro. You put like the emphasis on immigrated. Like it sounds sick. I don't know why people attach a negative connotation because what I've seen is that these immigrants be coming over here and they do better than Americans a lot of the time, bro, because they work harder and they appreciate America for what it is. That's what I've experienced.
2024.
It's some good work ethic. Yo, Kelly, man. I mean Kelly Kerbal. Yeah.
The new Democrat elected.
Yo, Jonathan, you're on the ticket. That'd be crazy.
Yeah, it's for my face. I'm smiling. I'm like thumbs up. Yeah, motherfucker.
Holy shit.
But yeah, there was this guy. He's half Filipino, half American, and he came down here a couple of months ago. He was here for a while. This happened a couple of months ago, I should say.
Yo, Scotty,
But he started selling, fun pills. And he started doing this in areas that are controlled by the cartel. And bro went missing. They haven't found him since. But that was an example of somebody who was encroaching on their business. Bro, I've met people who are part of the fun group and been very, very, very nice. They'll be like, "Oh, check out this Puesta. This is a good taco spot. I'll buy you a drink."
Well, of course, they're nice to you. You're a potential customer. Of course,
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. So
they're trying to get you on board. They're trying to add you to the club, or like have you be buying.
So I was telling this to. I think it was me and you, me and Slice of Life, that were talking about this a couple of Slice of My Life a couple of weeks ago, where I have a friend here who he was born and raised, lived in Mexico City his entire life, and 11 years ago, the Colombian fun group started pulling up here.
I feel like he's talking about like a circus, bro. Like he's talking about some fucking clowns. They ride around in a train from fucking state to state with clowns and shit.
Well, the Colombian fun group was running stuff here. They were making more money. They were pushing people out, and then the Mexican fun groups were infighting, and they eventually came together, and they started like 11 different fun groups here in America in Mexico City came together, and they were like, "Nah, you know what? We're all gonna band together and push out the Colombian fun groups," and they just started running stuff.
Yo, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, so this is why I asked that question, right? You guys know the show Power, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great show, by the way. If anybody is looking for a new show to watch, Ghost is one of the characters in that show, and they end up dealing with the Mexicans, bro. And Ghost is he's a bad motherfucker, bro. Like people fear Ghost in New York. Ghost is he's got so much pull in New York, it's actually crazy. But he's scared of the Mexicans, like, because apparently the Mexicans go deep. That's why
Scotty,
I'm
this
like,
is Logie. He's been holding down the chat before you got here. Say what up to Logie.
Big shout outs to my boy Loki.
what's up, Logie? Is Scotty the new addition? Is he chilling
Scotty's
too
the
here?
new addition. Yeah, Scotty's a chef. Just started a
Yep.
catering company.
Oh,
shit.
hell yeah. Yo,
Do
Scotty.
you know Scotty off
Yeah,
IRL? Or?
Yeah,
Oh,
Scotty's one of the homies.
all right, bet.
Oh, this is our boy Scotty?
This is our boy Scotty, yeah.
Yo, Scotty. Yo, I miss you, bro. Fucking love you, man.
Scotty, this is Dur in the chat.
Yo, Scotty, while we talk about this dumb shit, drop your most controversial food opinion.
Anyway, John, I cut you off. What were you saying?
So I was saying that there's like a stigma to like, okay, there's like a cartel and all that, or whatever that is.
Fun group. Fun group.
I'm sorry. I'm not calling it a fucking fun fucker. Yo, there's a group. Okay, there's a group in America that does that shit. But the Mexican group that does that shit, they're like up on the top because they just give no fucks. That's basically what I'm saying. That made me ask that question. Like, are we straight when we go there?
When you're
And if you say yes,
yeah.
I'm down.
Bro,
I'm 100%
I wouldn't
down.
be living here if it wasn't. That's number one. Number two, like
You might hold it down. You might be one of the ones. You know what I mean? You might be a tough guy. I don't know you that well, but
bro.
I wouldn't put it past you to be a tough ass.
Here, I'm gonna give
bro.
it to you straight. I'm a bitch.
Actually-
I'm not that tough.
Okay. No, that's. I mean,
So I'll take your word for
definitely.
it. I'll take your word
If
for
you
it.
give the okay, yo,
Dude, actually,
yo, but no, we gotta make it. We gotta make a plan for you to come to Boston because I've been trying to go visit George for like
Well,
a minute, but
he's
this.
gonna be here.
too
dude,
famous
I'll be there
for me.
next month.
Yeah.
I
Actually,
got like 4 weddings coming up, which is actually insane. But once those weddings are done,
Yep.
definitely. Once we get the weddings out the way, definitely about to pull up for sure.
Where are the weddings?
Oh, they're all over the place. Massachusetts, actually, the Massachusetts one might work. They're like Suffield. There's a whole bunch of Connecticut, like all over.
You got a +1? Invite me, bro. I'm a fun +1.
Yo, imagine that. That would be so funny. Who's this guy? Yeah, I met him on he lives in Mexico. That's a sick flex though to say you live in Mexico. Oh, that's actually so sick.
Oh, dude, it gives
Like,
me
not
it
many
gives me
people to say that.
+100 aura, as the kids would
Yeah,
say.
hella pull.
Actually,
Hella
it
pull.
actually does.
Yeah. It doesn't give you pull when you're here though. I'll be honest.
Yeah, you're like, yo.
Oh,
Mexican
actually-
girls, I
But
live
yo,
in
you're a
Get the
Somalian
fuck
living amongst Mexicans, bro.
Dude, funny story. This is about 3 weeks ago. I hooked up with an Israeli girl, and this bitch occupied my house for like
Yo,
a full day. It's crazy.
yo, they're good at that shit, right?
Oh, nah.
Dude,
nah,
so-
Nah, y'all actually gonna get it.
we love Israelis. We love all people.
Dude, so
We're like Jesus.
went-
We love all people.
I went to a bar, and a lot of non-freedom fighters pull up here.
What?
Once they're done with their military service, they all have to serve 2 years.
Wait, these terms are insane. Are we talking about?
Yeah, what are we talking
No, you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Wait, are we talking about neonatals? That's what we're talking about.
I'm talking about Yehoods.
Nah, this is getting crazy.
Neonatals, not so good.
Yeah.
Not
Let's
so
say
good.
H-Man's biggest ops.
Oh,
They come here very often.
Oh shit, the ops are there. Okay, all right.
No,
with it.
H-Man's odd.
So they come here.
Big H.
Big H.
The Big H.
Yeah. The
Yeah,
Big H.
Big H ops.
Calling down a support weapon.
So they come here very frequently because once they're done with their 2 years of mandatory service, a lot of them travel. And 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago, but I was at a bar, and my Spanish is absolute dog shit right now. Like, I can communicate what I need, but I sound like a toddler. But I heard a couple of people who were speaking a little bit of English, and I started talking to them. I ended up taking the... Yeah, my English is also pretty dog shit. But I started talking to them, and then one of them, this chick, she came back to my place, and we had a good time. But we pulled back at my place maybe like 3 a.m. Bro, she was at my place until 4 or 5 the next day. It was to the point where I was calling friends, and I was like, yo, can you guys... like, yo...
No. You know what you do, bro? Like, I have literally the best, like in certain situations, what to do. You literally pretend like you have like a really bad case of diarrhea, and you literally make her lose all attraction to you, because if you want her to leave, obviously she's not special. You're like, yo, you start to load. I'm sorry that she'll leave.
Oh, dude,
She don't want to stick around for that.
I had one time, this is probably maybe like a decade ago at this point, I was like 19, and no, it has nothing to do with diarrhea, it's just the same topic. But I was on a date, and I made the mistake, and yo, Logie, if you're still on this conversation, I'm going to drop a little bit of knowledge for you real quick.
Oh, nah, not the knowledge.
Don't ever go on a first date where there isn't an easy way to leave. Oh, bro, he's 13. If you're gonna go on a first date, which is gonna happen for you, always have the ability to be like, oh, cool, there's an obvious end to this. I made the mistake where I went on a first date with this girl, and we went on a picnic. The issue with a picnic is you don't have a definite time of being like, all right, this is definitely over. If you go to a movies and you don't vibe with the person, you get to be like, oh, movie's over, it's time for me to go home. There's an obvious end to this. But I went on this picnic with this girl, and I was not vibing with her whatsoever. It was just
negative R.
We weren't connecting. She was a lovely person, but we just weren't vibing. And then
you weren't Joe vibing.
Yeah, I wasn't Joe vibing.
Freaky Joe, man.
Dude, so...
Sorry, go ahead, sorry.
So, I was like, oh, dude, I gotta figure out how to get out of this. So I was like, oh, I gotta leave soon. And she was like, all right, cool, we'll walk together. As we were walking, we were having our date on a river. There's a middle school that most of my friends went to. It was in my hometown. And it has a park that is accessible to the public. So she was like, oh, before you leave, let's hang out in this park. And me being 19, I was like, fuck, I don't know how to say no. So we ended up spending like another 2 hours at this park. So I called I text one of my buddies, and I was like, yo, bro, I need you to help me get out of this date. And he's like, all right, dude, I'll be on it. He's like, all right, dude, I'll call you in like 10 minutes. I'll tell you my mom died. I was like, yo, bro, that's way too much. Don't do that. And he was like, all right, cool. But the big factor was, at the time, I had turtles. Like, I love having pets. So I had a couple of turtles. And he also had turtles. And she knew that I had turtles. So all that, like, aligned. And he was like, yo, dude, I'll tell you that my turtle died. And I was like, that's way better than saying that your mom died. So he calls me and puts on one of the best performances, Oscar-winning performances. He calls me, and I'm like, yo, James, I'm on a date right now. And he's like, yo, bro, like, you got a quick minute to talk? And I was like, yeah, bro, you're on speaker. And he's like, perfect. He literally says, he's like, perfect. Because I told him this is what I needed. And then he's like, yo, my turtle just died. I don't know what to do. Lance is dead. And I'm like, oh, this is tough. This is serious. I got turtles too. I got to go be with my friend. And she was like, do you want me to come with you? I was like, no, this is a private matter. and she started giving me like she was like, oh well. So at the time he was at a very big university in Boston, and she's like, oh, there's a very big tree. She's like, oh, bury him under this tree. I was like, we'll take that into consideration. And then she bought it hook, line, and sinker. This man sold it so well that even I was like, yo, James, like, calm down a little bit, brother. Like, and she, I forget if I paid for the Uber or she got me an Uber to go to his place, but I ended up just going back to his place and partaking in that green and just laughing about it. And his turtle was fine.
Logi's
was
not
all right.
That's with the girls right now. Y'all got any tips for Logie?
Yeah, bro. Okay, so all right, you don't want to hear. Okay, go ahead, because my advice is actually retarded. But go ahead.
John.
Oh,
You go first.
I got good advice for you. Logie.
John, no.
Number one, you're 13.
Sorry, my advice is actually special needs.
Bro, that's absolutely wild.
All right, sorry. Go ahead. Give your take,
God.
and then I'll give my take, and then George will get hit. Slice my life. We'll give his.
There goes my police.
Yo, slice my life. You go first, bro. I need a second after that one.
I have to mourn the death of my hopes and dreams now.
I'm a dirty stinking contractor for Slice My Life. He hires me freelance, so he found me off of Fiverr. Like I'm like a dungeon basement, like Laredo, Texas, bro. Like I'm in the middle of nowhere. So he's not affiliated.
Well, Logie, here's the advice I would give to you. One, you're a young man. It's not for the next couple of years. You're gonna have a lot of failure. One, don't let that discourage you, and then two, find somebody who you like to spend your free time with, and then make sure that you give them attention and love and respect. But when you're young, it's not the same thing as dating as you get older. Dating as you get older gets complicated in a bunch of different ways and gets easier in a couple of different ways. It's more complicated to meet people because you're not forced to be with people outside of work. But when you're young, people are going to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for?
Superficial.
Immature and superficial.
Yeah.
They're gonna look for things that are outside of your control. Find somebody that you like, spend time with them, and one thing that I will say is, don't give up yourself.
Which wants to spend too much time with them?
Well, I'll answer that in a second, but don't give up yourself to riz other people up. There's no point of being fake to get somebody, and then once you're with them, they don't like the person that you actually are because you give up your like a fake version of yourself.
Logie said to use protection. He's trolling.
Yo, this kid got a good brain on his shoulders. What the hell?
Yo, you're gonna love my take. Holy shit.
Yeah, all right. I'll leave it to you, not John.
Not John.
Yeah. All right. I think, in my opinion, this is just mine. This is not them too. First of all, there's two things. Right?
In this chat, all right?
I speak for myself. First of all, dating is all about you. It has nothing to do with the fucking other person. Dating is all about you, and I'm gonna explain that. Think about this, right? If you are messed up mentally, or you're in a bad place, or something like that, you attract what you are. So if you are happy, you're outgoing, extroverted, you're talking, you're probably going to attract somebody who's similar frame as you. You attract what you are, even though opposites attract. In dating, a lot of the times you kind of find somebody somewhat similar in some aspects of your life. So first of all, you got to focus on yourself, especially at your age. You're probably about to hit high school. What is he, 13, you said?
Yeah, he's age 13.
You're about to hit high school, bro. Yeah, you're about to hit high school, bro, where, like you said, it's very superficial, and you have to focus on just you. You can't be worried about what other people are doing. Everybody's in their own race. Some
Read
people
some
start
books.
at
Go to the gym
fucking
once in a
level
while.
3. Some people start level 10. Yeah, work on yourself, bro. Work on your mental. Get out there, talk to people. Even if you suck at talking to people, get out there and do that shit over and over and over again. Like when you shoot a basketball, that shit goes in a little bit more every couple days. Just talk to a random person, even if they laugh at you or whatever. You can't give it. You have to not care about what other people think of you. That's number one. That whole point is number one. Second, once you secure the bag, date. It's all about leverage, bro. Think
Going
about
down
this.
to support weapon.
If you have a very attractive girl with a very ugly guy, there's always going to be some dynamic in that
Bogey's
relationship where
is misinterpreting what you're saying. I think he's interpreted that as he said. So be a narcissist all about you dating, or is it just about you
yeah,
dating? Like,
no,
well,
it's
that's
a, it's about you. It's about you. Did he actually say that?
yeah.
Okay. So narcissism is a funny thing because narcissism is a form of manipulation. So you're not manipulating, you're working on yourself to be able to find that person who you guys can both make each other happy. So narcissism is
Look
different
out,
because
ghost spotted.
narcissism you
Prepare to
use
exterminate.
people to get to a certain point. Like you think you're above people, so therefore your relationships with people are all damaged. We're trying to get healthy relationships out here. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So they're
John is just
two
saying
very
like make
very
everything
separate things.
all about you and disregard everyone else's like
Requesting advanced
importance
weapon
or their
ready.
worth. He's
But you
saying
definitely come first in a way.
right.
You got to make
He's
sure
saying
that
like
you're
understand who you are, value yourself, like yourself for who you are. Don't try to be someone you're not to impress people or get people to like you. Develop
exactly.
within yourself. Um,
It, it,
and like yourself for what you are and who you are and figure that out. And once you do, you will
like
find somebody
yeah,
who also
exactly.
appreciates you for who you are.
If your cup is not full, you can't fill somebody else's cup. That's how I view it. You could view that as selfish, but if you have a full cup, all the cups around you, you could fill them up too equally. But if you're empty, if you're on low, you can't help out anybody else. You can't do anything for your life. You have to make sure you're good first without hurting people. If you're hurting somebody else by making sure you're good, like climbing over somebody to get to the top, that's wrong. But if you're just helping yourself in your own way, then I mean that's kind of how you have to do it. You'll realize one day that we're right.
Bogey, explain what you
One day you'll
mean by
realize.
mutualism. Because I think that's an interesting term to invoke in this conversation.
Administering meds. Thank you.
Bogey's like, nah, bro, I'm like not trying to do a pop quiz right now. I was just talking.
Hey, I'm chatting, bro.
Calling in extraction.
And mutualism, I know exactly what you're talking about. I just looked it up. Interaction between individuals of different species that benefits both of them, right? But the
Yo, Logie,
problem
what are
is
you doing? Why you focus on other species, bro? You
the
ask us about dating and then you go to other species.
problem is, bro, is
Bogey's a furry.
you think that men and women experience life the same way, and that's just not the case, bro. Men and women experience life very differently. Girls go through life, especially in the dating scene, they go through life very differently than a man. Like I know that like just based on like men usually are the ones who seek and they like are the ones who initiate. Like that's just how it is, and that changes things a lot. So you can't
Those are
even
the
compare the two
expectations
as an
for
equal.
sure. The
That tends to be the case for the most part. A lot
mating dance,
like
if you will.
exactly like for the most part, I would say
Support
the
weapon.
large majority of relationships
Orbital
start
inbound.
with the guy initiating or making the effort, and the girl kind of having sit. But I would say, like we're talking about majority here, it's completely lopsided. So you can't even use that mutualism term in a sense.
Yeah, and dude, you'll learn that as you get older.
Nothing wrong with like how they experience life, but it is what it is. You know, what I mean, it's kind of like
Not it is what
we're
it
put
is.
here on Earth. We have different hormones. We got different shit going. You know, we got different like there's a reason why we're built the way we're built, and that kind of goes back to biology and stuff like that. But type
Type
shit,
shit. Um, yo, George, did Logie respond?
Hold on.
Logie has
I'm
left the
trying
chat.
to Oh my fucking god. Okay. He said, then you don't even got to talk. Just be rich, then you don't even got to talk. Yeah,
Nah.
most of our world are like
Then they won't like you for you.
shallow about money and like people use you for your wealth, but yeah, don't get it twisted, bro. Not everyone is like that.
Facts.
Yeah, kid.
And you know, you know what, Logie? Real quick, bro. I'm gonna let you talk. I just real quick, that money part right there. If you initiate with a bag first, that girl will never respect you, bro. Like if you leave with the wallet, like you put your wallet first, yo, look how much money I have, flexing that shit. She might be with you, but you're gonna feel really hollow inside because she's never gonna be with you for you. But if you find a girl you like and you guys vibe with each other and you work on yourself that way and she finds out you have money after she likes you, oh, she gonna be crazy about you, bro. She's not gonna let you go ever.
Oh,
That's all I gotta say.
I want to build on to what you said. I agree
Alright,
with
go ahead, bro.
everything that you said, but Logie, what I will add on to that is you don't want to find somebody who wants you because of what you can give them financially. You want somebody who's going to be there for you when things aren't going to go well. And the three of us are old as hell compared to you, right? Like we're old dudes, but
Double his age.
Yeah. I was 13 before you were even born. Oh, I was even more than that. I think I was 15 before you were born. And the one thing that I would say
you sound
is
like an old ass man.
the people that you
Back in my day.
back in my day. No, but you don't want to find somebody who's there for you because of the things that you can give them. You want to find somebody who's there for you that is there for you when things get tough. It's better for you to find somebody
like
who cares for you about.
Belt, like you want someone who's gonna be in that corner with
Yeah.
Get in there. G can't get in there.
Bro, as you get older, one thing that you're gonna realize is people are gonna get laid off. Unless you own your own company, people will get laid off. It happens to people. But do you want somebody in your life or in your corner who's like, oh, he has a job that pays X, Y, and Z amount, right? Like $70,000, $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 a year, but now he can't provide my lifestyle. I'm gonna leave him. Oh, you want somebody in your corner who's like, oh, you got laid off. What can we do to make sure that we are okay? And finding somebody who has a good view on you guys being a unit, that I think is something that's important. You don't want bad bitches come and go. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Gold diggers only.
They take my money.
You're gonna hook up with some people. As you get older, you're gonna meet people who are super attractive, and then you're gonna meet people who have great values. At the end of the day, the thing that's gonna make you happier are people who have good values. Just being hot and not having a good value isn't a sustainable way of having a relationship.
Yeah,
but somebody who's like, oh, you're going through hard times, I'll be there for you. That's way more important.
I'm not sure how much of this you're still looking for, but he seems to be resonating with what's being said. I'll just add this one point and we'll like move to a different topic because I don't want to stay on this too long. Yeah, you'll like meet a bunch of attractive people, a bunch of attractive girls if that's what you're into. You'll meet a bunch of attractive girls.
That's what you're into.
Being hot,
attractive girls.
Being hot is not the end all be all. You can be hot and be a bad person,
and it comes and goes.
Don't let that. Yeah, don't let that.
It comes and goes. People are attractive. People are going to be attractive for only a certain amount of their life, right? Like, I mean, I don't believe that. Like,
Logie said, girls, no guys.
Like people. He's like, yo, get it straight. Hot dog, no bun. Hot dog, no bun. Nah, dude. I mean, the truth
Dougie.
of it is, you're gonna get older. You're gonna be 35 one day, 45 one day, 55 one day. You find somebody that was
You're
attractive at
you're
25.
aging quick, Logie.
They're not gonna look the same. Yeah, they're not gonna look the same at 25 as they do at 45. But the thing that will stay the same is how much they care about you and how much they care about like your well-being. So don't don't think about dating as well. Actually, you know, I'm a little bit of a hypocrite.
Wait,
As you're
Logie
young,
doesn't agree with
have some
this.
fun.
Logie, what part are you saying not true? Oh, Elvis Presley. What about Elvis Presley?
Bro, Elvis Presley was hitting on young kids. He was dating a 13-year-old.
Yeah,
Get the
that
fuck
shouldn't
out
be
of here,
your
Logie.
role model.
Yo,
Logie, Presley shouldn't be your role model.
yo,
He's
can I
like, don't
can I
don't
add
take
a
him as an
point in here real
example.
quick? You guys been
Sure.
killing it. Let me add a point in here real quick. So, I really am big on that developmental part, like developing yourself. You gotta. I mean, okay. So you said you have an issue with girls. Honestly, it really comes down to a confidence thing because the confidence will take you so far. And if you aren't born with that, you definitely have to develop it.
How do
And
you
there's different
develop
avenues through
confidence?
which. Well, you definitely
Be
can.
yourself.
See, that be yourself shit is so vague though, because you could tell
No,
someone be
no, no, no,
yourself.
no.
What if the person fucking
Nope.
sucks?
Confidence. I've heard it
No, no,
put
no, no.
this way,
I
and
disagree
I
with you
like
on.
this way, right? It's like confidence is your reputation with yourself. It's your ability
How you view
Yeah.
yourself.
to be sure in your own abilities and confident within yourself. So I think the way you develop that is by trying, failing, and eventually
A hundred
accomplishing,
percent.
right? It's like I'm not gonna be afraid of failure. I'm gonna try things knowing that I might fail, but knowing that there's also a possibility that I will succeed. And by going through that process, stumbling, getting back up, succeeding, failing, like you build a resume, you build a repertoire, you get an understanding of yourself. Like, who am I when things get tough? How do I respond to success? How do I respond to failure? That builds your reputation of yourself. And that's where your
Bless my
confidence
life. You're 100% right.
is
You're
derived
And
from.
hundred
on
percent
and
right.
on on
John,
top of
not
building
John.
it.
I'm sorry. I don't want to
Yeah.
cut you off, but there's one thing I want to say before you say what you're gonna say, because you said that being confident, just saying that is vague,
The most
and I want to
important.
build on that.
Confidence is the
And
most important.
I'll hold on to the thing that you were thinking about,
Yeah.
because I think what I'm gonna say is not challenging what you're saying, but I want to build off of what I meant by being confident. Being confident isn't just being like what George said, like believing in yourself all the time. Like you can be confident and be not like not fully sure of the path that you're on. But I think confidence, especially confidence that will attract people, is you find things that you love and you love doing it and you don't care what other people have to say. That's something that's confident.
Hmm.
And the more you do that, where you're just like, I don't care if other people don't like what I like, I'm gonna do it. That attracts people more than just being good at things that are
It
conventionally
won't attract people
that
for a while
society.
because again, kids are shallow. So like you'll find
Yeah,
very
if
few
you're a
people
kid,
your
sure.
age who
If
are
you're a kid,
mature
sure.
enough to appreciate that. But once you step out of that realm of adolescence and high school, you'll start to realize that you're a bit ahead of your peers because you have for so long tried to value the things that are important. And like maybe you don't get laid a lot in high school, but afterwards a lot of people start to crash out, bro. Like there were mad people who peaked in high school who are just down bad right now, and I'm like, that's tough, bro.
And they talk about their
Like,
best years as being in high
yeah, yeah,
school.
yeah. What did 50 Cent
Yeah.
say? Damn, homie, in high school you was the man, homie. The fuck happened to you? Like that's exactly it.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it right there.
And
Not
honestly,
not
yeah.
John, I want to hear what you were saying. I know I cut you
So
off.
a couple things because I definitely like the direction of where this is going because this advice is something that I wish I knew like when I was definitely his age. You like the failure stuff, but for a different reason. You want to fail.
Yep.
Okay, you want to fail because experience brings confidence. Like, let's say that you accomplish something, you fail at it, you fail at it, you fail at it, you fail at it, and then you accomplish it. That accomplishment's gonna bring the confidence to be able to do it better, whatever it is you do, which then brings you the confidence, right? So you literally, it's all one line. It's all one line. So you have to go through a bunch of different things, try, fail, get laughed at, get made fun of, and then it hardens you to the point where um you're so used to failing that you don't care about failing anymore. When you don't care about failure and all you care about is just learning from your mistakes and improving, that's where that mentality towards life
You
comes,
become an
where
unreal
really
human
nothing
being,
can
man.
stop
You
you.
become
Nothing
like
can
a
stop you,
force of
bro.
nature. If you stop fearing failure and you like John said, I'm just basically gonna repeat what he said because I 1,000,000% agree. You stop caring
Not
about
John. Not John.
sorry, not John. When you stop caring about failure and you're more concerned with what you can learn from the process of of trying to achieve the things you want to achieve, you become a force of nature. Like that's what people are trying to achieve in so many ways, and they all go by all these wrong ways of doing so. Also, you said something like kind of like Drake. Drake doesn't do other things that people like. Don't Drake should not be your role model. God damn it. See, this is why I made this channel. I made this channel literally for this reason, to talk to boys your age, so that your role models aren't people like Drake or Elvis Presley.
No
Because
Yo,
Diddy.
yo, that was
No
a
Diddy.
crazy
yeah,
statement.
No
I'm
Diddy.
sorry.
like
No Diddy.
like
Yo,
we
no,
need
but okay, the intention. No, that's actually he wants to help the youth.
yeah, I'm trying to help the youth because, like, bro, I was a
Yeah.
teacher. I was a teacher, and like I see these kids, and they're just completely lost, bro. Like the things that they value are leading them on a path of self destruction, and it's like because they're trying to emulate guys like Drake and whoever else. And I'm like, yeah, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. So I'm gonna put my voice out there so they
And
get a message like what John is saying, what
yep.
Dar is saying.
And let me just throw it in there that all these celebrities, bro. First of all, first of all, I know people who are in the industry. Like
I'm
I
not
listen to
saying you're
people who are in the
lost, man.
industry. There's a lot of shit that goes on behind the scenes, and literally, like you can't view a celebrity because you don't know all the backstory in their life, right? You don't know what Drake's doing on like a cool Tuesday at like 2 p.m. He might be doing some really degenerate stuff and some stuff that a role model should not be doing. So I would take like based on like all these rappers and hip hop stars who their whole brand is portraying a certain image to a certain way. They want you to believe in that.
It's
They
all
want you to keep listening to their
manufactured.
music,
You get a
and
very
that's just like
specific
a
view
politician.
into
We
his
goes back
life.
to politics too.
I'm a
Celebrities
politician,
they
exactly.
portray a picture because there's a financial incentive in there to do that. So I would take what they say with a grain of salt, like how they kind
Take it
of
with the whole jar of salt. I wouldn't
portray their
listen.
life. Yeah, bro. But honestly, what we're saying is that's straight facts, bro. You got to go through shit, and that's why you see like 35-year-old for the most part will be more confident in their life, more confident in themselves. They'll be more kind of hardened to everything than a 25-year-old, than a
And like,
15-year-old.
be
It just comes with
honest
experience in
with
life.
yourself. Be honest with
Yeah.
yourself. If you're not like confident about something, that's alright. Don't be like, oh, like let me just like I I
Let me
hate
learn.
fake it till you make it because it's like you don't need to fake it. You can be honest with where you're at. Like that
Yeah.
takes more courage than like lying to yourself and lying to others. Like, yeah, I'm not good at this thing right now, but I damn sure am gonna keep trying to get good at it and get better at it. Oh, I'm not at the point where I can like go up to any girl or talk to her or like go up to somebody and like network, but I'm gonna keep trying and get there. Like that I think takes a lot more courage and a lot more balls to like do that than just lie to yourself and try and like do this mental gymnastics and put yourself in some kind of like mental box because like that's a slippery slope. Lying to yourself is a slippery slope. Don't go on that
You
hill.
you want to be confident. You want to be confident in the things that you aren't good at. So you want to be confident in the fact that you're not good at something, and you can admit something. Like you can admit that. Think about this, right? Let's go back to this part. Fucking LeBron
Oh,
James. LeBron
I'm sorry.
James is not good at every single thing. When he first came into the league, he wasn't that great of a 3-point shooter, and he admitted that. He said, "I'm not a good 3-point shooter. I'm great at driving to the basket. I'm great at doing all this other stuff. I could play some good defense, but I'm not a good 3-point shooter."
But now he's
Over
shooting
time,
logo
that that
threes.
per- that percentage has gone up and up and up
He's
because
shooting
he
logo
realized,
threes.
yeah, he's confident in that part. And like I said, don't take what these celebrities do with a grain of salt. But this, when it comes to just straight basketball, which you can visually see, you want to see that he improved. He was bad at something. Over time, he failed at it, failed at it, failed at it, failed at it. Now he's shooting like 40% from the 3-point line. Like, that's pretty damn good
Yo,
coming from like
And, and,
25,
and the main
20%
point
when
that
he
John
first
is
started.
making here is that he was honest about what he wasn't good at. He wasn't
Exactly.
afraid of being judged for not being good at something.
That's true aura.
Oh wait, what?
Not giving a
Can you hear
fuck.
me?
I can hear you.
yeah, we can hear you on Discord.
Oh, Logie said you couldn't hear me.
Don't want to don't want to steal this from the rest of the conversation. Logan, we're gonna get back to it, but dude, I just got the certificate to get Brady to come down here.
Oh, that's lit, dude. Congrats.
Who's Brady?
Oh
Oh,
my
Tom Brady?
god.
Brady is his dog. No, Brady's Tom Brady.
I was about to say, yo, I'm there, bro. 2.5 seconds, I'm there. Brady's there.
John
Oh,
loves
dude,
Brady.
I've been struggling to get my dog to come down here, but I just got. That's why I was yelling when I yelled, "Let's go!" But I just got the certificate to be able to travel with my dog. They just emailed it to me right now.
But nah, man, Logie, you're gonna be alright. Just like be respectful. Don't let people make you act outside of yourself. Like somebody's acting crazy and they're trying to get you to act crazy. You don't gotta do that, bro. Be you. Be who you are. Be secure within yourself.
Yeah, bro. Awesome. You're
And also improve,
13.
bro. Also
You're
improve.
13, dude.
Yeah, go ahead.
The rest of your life is making sure that you're gonna acquire skills to be a badass.
You're gonna be a
Focus
stud,
on
bro.
that.
You're gonna be a stud.
Yeah, focus on that. Focus on hitting the things that are important to you. Um,
And if you don't know what those
Focusing
are yet,
on
you can learn them. It's gonna come with time. You don't have to
oh,
have all the answers about who you are and what you enjoy and what you like
dude,
and your values and all. You're growing
and
into
you
it one at a
shouldn't.
time. Shouldn't, right?
You shouldn't know what those things are. Like, there's no way at 13 years old you're gonna know what to do for the rest of your life. You might have an idea and things that'll put you on a path for the things that you love to do or the things that bring you joy. But at this point, we're talking as old men. Don't worry about that. You're 13. Those things will come. But right now, man, focus on being a dope ass person.
I think one thing that high schoolers, as somebody who worked with them for a lot of years, run into is, am I muted?
No, I can hear you.
No, Logie can't hear me. Testing, 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 testing. Yo, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can.
Yo, Logie, if you can hear me, put a thumbs up in the chat.
No, but George, what
Hold on,
were you
hold
gonna
on.
say before you?
Hold on, I'm gonna do a sound check. Checking, test, test. Oh, okay, all right, good.
Like, check 1, 2.
All right,
1,
so like
2.
I was saying,
Like, shit.
I feel like one thing that I've noticed with high schoolers, is that, and this isn't like to like pick on high schoolers or like young boys or anything like that, right? Is like this is just a human being thing. It's like, yes, bad decisions, right? Obviously, but it's like everyone else. These kids want to be accepted. They want to feel a sense of belonging in their community, and ideally, they want that sense of belonging to come from, um, or they want that sense of belonging to be genuine. They don't want to have to like portray themselves as someone that they're not or something that they don't feel comfortable with to get that sense of belonging. But oftentimes, um they have to stray into these um, places that they don't feel comfortable to feel accepted by their peers, and the peers themselves that they're looking for approval from also are not being genuine in their actions and are also doing these things to feel accepted. And a lot of it comes from trying to emulate the people that they see in the limelight, and they lack the awareness because they're young. It's no fault of their own to put into perspective that, oh, this isn't real life. Like what I'm seeing here, this isn't a reflection of what life is. This is manufactured. This is curated to elicit this response out of me. Like and but they don't necessarily have that context, right? So you have a few things that happen. You get boys who are defensive, who are or who like bully others because they want to feel like less small themselves. They're like, I don't feel good because I'm not accepted in my community for who I am. I don't even know who I am because I always try to act like somebody else to get accepted, and so I'm going to make someone else feel small, and so I in relation feel less small. Or they like completely like withdraw, where they're like, I'm not gonna go to school. Even if I do, I'm not gonna really engage with anything. I'm not gonna like engage with the subject matter. I'm not gonna engage with my peers in any substantial way. I'm not gonna engage with my teachers. Like it becomes this whole like crisis that we're seeing. I actually like I had a whole training on this where they talked about like basically high school age boys, especially in like under resourced communities, which they've been saying for a long time, like at risk youth and blah blah blah. And like there's a bit of like racism to that where it's like black kids are bound to do something bad. But there's a lot of research truth behind it in that like these kids just don't have a lot given to them that they need to be successful, right? Like they're not all coming from a loving, supportive community because the resources aren't there for that. And at that age, that's a critical thing. That's a critical thing that you need. And especially if you're in a society that's like, yo, to be a successful man, you need bands, you need like girls all around you, and it's like if you're, I'll speak for
Yeah, and
myself.
that's a tough thing to deal with.
That's a tough thing to deal with. I'll speak for myself. If you're like a lower middle class, like, or you come from like a working poor family, like your parents can't buy you all the new kicks, all the new this and that, and like that's what's cool. So like you don't feel cool, and like you're like, oh, like what am I really worth if I don't have all the things that are the status symbols to be cool? Like, well, you might be good at sports, and that's where you see like people push sports on young boys so often because like a lot of times that's like the only saving grace they have. And so they all cling to it like, okay, I'm a basketball player, like I'm a football player, I
Yeah.
run track, like that's my only sense of identity because outside of that I don't know who or what I am. Because
Oh, dude. I mean, it happened to me, man. Because I mean, you know this about me. I was competing for a little bit. I was fighting all the time, and I was like, oh, dude, if I'm not fighting, oh, who the fuck am I?
right,
It's such a weird thing to tie in your identity to the things that you do, but you're more than that. You're not just the activities that you have available to you or the things that you express yourself athletically or even
right,
intellectually. You have to figure out who you are beyond that because those things don't last.
right. Become who you are.
And, and and
Become
and
who
let me
you
just
are.
like chime in here real quick. Yo, let's be real about the end game, right? Because you're talking about money and cars and like all that kind of stuff, like who you like what you do.
Mm.
The end game is really affecting your personality because people say, yo, don't change, be yourself. I kind of view it a little differently. I think self development is
You have to
very
change.
important
If you're
as you
not
age
changing,
because
you're
you're
not.
you're not you're not the same person. Yeah, you're not the same person that you were when you were 15. You've gone through things, you've grown. So self-development is so important in your mental and your physical. And if you're religious, I mean spiritual's in there because it helps out the other ones. But like let's say for example, I feel like money's been brought up a good amount of times here, so maybe he thinks that money is the answer. It's really not about that. It's about
No.
how money affects your personality. Like, think about somebody who is a businessman or makes a lot of money. They're going to be more assertive. They're going to speak their mind more. They're gonna not care as much about what people think, and that's kind of the right way to use those superficial things you to get a good outcome. Is it positively affects your personality rather than just showing off how many cars you have? And that's, yeah, that stuff is cool.
Yeah, but like John,
But
I
if you
think
if you have like a great personality, you combine it with a nice car, that's cool too. That's, I mean,
John,
that, but it's not really what you need.
John, to your point, like why is it that when people have the money they can convey themselves more confidently, walk in the world with and like be able to hold their heads up high and things like that? Well, it's because the money serves as a status
I wouldn't
symbol.
even
The money serves as a status
I
symbol.
wouldn't even say
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't even say it's the money that, like, having it that makes it there. It's the things you need to do to get it. It's like, think about if you're a
Yeah,
CEO
but
of a
there are a lot.
company.
Yeah,
Like,
but
for
there are
example,
a lot of
that's like
people who don't have to necessarily do anything to get a bunch of money, and they still carry themselves as though like they're like super confident. I've done these things. Again, I think money serves as a status symbol that communicates
it's a
to
tool. I do it. Yeah, go ahead.
others that like, oh, like I have gained the thing that we're all after, and so I must be like I have a right to feel this way, to carry myself this way, which is everyone has a right to feel confident, to feel safe, to feel self-assured. But we live in a society that communicates to us in so many ways that you only have the right to feel this way if you have the bag. Um,
So let me kind
I,
of
I, I,
rephrase it then,
I'm
because
not saying that's right, and I'm not saying that's what you're saying.
yeah, so basically I kind of view it as like, all right, picture if you're, I mean, at the end of the day, we're all kind of down to our biology. Like, that's how biology kind of rules a lot of this. There's a lot of new things like social media, phones, and all that stuff that kind of adds such shit in. Fuels us to do everything we do. Um, think about like a hunter, like a long time ago, like the hunter of a village. He went out and got the food, aka like the money nowadays, right? Because everything's made for us. To get that, he had to become that thing to be able to go out and fight and get that stuff. Similar to, like, if you have to climb your way to get money, like you work long hours, you work very, very hard on yourself and all that stuff. You have to have more of like a type personality. Like, you can't be kind of, I don't know, you can't be like weak in a sense, you know what I mean? And that translates to other parts of your life. You just happen to kind of pick up those
Yeah,
skills along the way, because
John.
you to be able to get to the point you're at, you have to get that, and it just translates.
John, the thing that I think I disagree with you on that is you're saying that in order to be wealthy, you have to be somebody who's cutthroat, and I don't think somebody who's not willing
Not, it
to.
doesn't have to be. It's just
Because
majority of the time it kind of works that way.
yeah, all right. Well, I mean, you're right about that. Most people who are wealthy are very cutthroat, but I think there are a lot of people who are extremely happy who they're um they're not interested in just money, you know?
I wouldn't even say cutthroat's the right word, because cutthroat makes it sound like you're fucking people over. I think of more like a go out and get it kind of thing. And
Mm,
that kind of translates to, like, okay, so I feel like it kind of translates to a person who really works hard in sports. Like, they kind of get that mentality of, to be able to be a great football player or basketball player, you got to put in those long hours. You got to bust your ass doing that shit. I'm
yeah,
just using money as an example, but like, it could really translate to any part of your life where you're grinding at something day in and day out and working your ass off. You get a personality like an A1, I think an A type personality, where you're kind of in charge and you're really putting your foot first and making a lot of those choices that you have to make. That kind of, you can even you can even apply it to like a bad example of like a dealer, bro. Like a dealer too. they probably have an A type personality too. Because in the same situation, you do what you got to do. Like that kind of mentality is what I'm talking about. Is really good for self development.
Logie,
Yeah, the go-getter mentality.
Logie, I think your point
Exactly.
about you have to be tough and you also have to be soft is a good way of looking at it. I think
Balanced.
what I interpret as tough is that you have to be resilient. You have to not like
Mm-hmm.
be a hard ass and like try and
Facts.
like act like you're
Facts.
above people or put people down, but you have to be
Hey, George, do
resilient. You
you
have to
want, George, slice my life. You mind doing me a favor? Can
what?
you read what he was saying earlier? I
Well,
think I might have misunderstood,
I like low key lost control of my chat. I accidentally locked it and I don't know how
what
to
Logie was
unlock it.
saying.
You
So
say lost
Ah,
control of it. That shit
yeah, I
getting out
like
of hand.
I don't know how to like unlock it. I pressed the lock button on it and now it's like locked.
But while he's figuring it out, I just think it's so corny that guy who walks in like really trying to be tough. What I'm talking about is there's like an inner toughness of exactly what George was saying, and back to our resilience thing, where you walk in a room, there's like presence there. You
mhm.
know, like I want, fuck, I want to say aura. Like that's what aura is at the end of the day. Like literally, that's what it is, bro. Is an inner confidence, and that's what I'm talking about. You have to build from within, and there's certain maybe you have to do exterior things to get there. Like not everybody's just born with it, but
Right.
like
I don't know
the
if
outcome
I'll
the
like read
outcome.
what Logie has been
Go ahead.
saying. He said,
Yeah.
well, let me. So we're gonna be backtracking a bit, but I feel like he's basically
Said aura
resonating
is
with a lot
Trump,
of.
yo. That's so funny, bro.
And John, I have a question for you. There's a
Yeah,
question
go
that I
ahead.
have that I want to ask you.
Yep.
Let's, George, or slice my life. Read out Logie's question. Let's talk about that, and then I have one thing that I want to ask.
Well, he didn't really ask a question, but
My
he
boy,
was
now
just like
John.
commenting as we were going on. He said like you can't be weak or you'll break real quick because there's people out there that just want. Then it trails off, and then he goes on to say you have to be tough, but be able to be soft at times, so you can be nice and kind when you don't have. You should be nice and kind all the time.
Exact
Um,
100% what
you
I'm
can
saying.
like you should be kind, but take no shit. Which is to say, like
You shouldn't be kind all the time. You got to be a dick at
you
some
should
like if
be.
somebody
Yeah,
tries you, you can't
it's
just like
in
That's
your
what I
life
mean
where you
by
have to be an asshole.
that's what I mean by you should be kind, but take no shit. Like be
oh facts,
kind,
facts, facts.
but if somebody like approaches you in like a bad faith, sideways way and disrespects you, you don't have to be kind to that person. You don't have to be kind to someone that does injustice to you. Um, that's not to say you should like now like go get a gun and try and shoot them, but like you can like stand your ground and be like, hey,
Crash
like
out, buddy.
be like, yeah,
Crash out. Also,
I'm
Crash
not,
Out George is my favorite George.
I'm not here for this. Like I'm not like I don't stand for this. I don't respect this. I don't respect what you're doing. Don't talk to me like that. Don't talk to
Yep.
that person like that. Like you can stand your ground, but still like be respectful. I was taught it in a way where it was framed as always carry yourself with poise and class. That is like never like
Yeah.
Yep.
lose yourself in these like trifling matters. Like people will try and like get you to act out. Be poised. Be poised. And like be a classy person, like which is like if somebody is stooping super low, they're like they're like saying like horrible things. They're like you'll see this online when you play games all the time. Like kids will like be like, oh you nigger this and you like your mom this and that and like you feel like the only way I can defend myself is if it's I engage in a similar manner when that's not the case. You don't have to stoop to their level. You can carry yourself with class. You can be like, all right, bro, you got it. Like, I'm not going to make you make me act like an idiot. I'm not going to engage in your nonsense.
100%.
And what was that question you had for me?
Oh, dude, yeah, I was just about to bring it up. So you were talking about being born with this type of resilience and
Yeah.
drive. Do you think that's something that people can learn, or do you think that's something that you're just born with?
It's by far an acquired skill because we're all born the same at birth. Everything is like we're all given a clean slate. Like I don't care what race you are, what color you are, what religion. our experiences kind of shape us to be who we are. Exactly what George was saying at the beginning. Full circle here, actually. It's really awesome. Um, but that's what I'm saying. So some people are born very resilient because of their upbringing. Some people are not born resilient because they never really had to have that resilience. So if you were born into a place where you haven't really had much, I don't want to say
Adversity.
controversy, but what is it?
Adversity.
Adversity.
Adversity, much adversity, you have to kind of not falsely manufacture, but you have to create the adversity for yourself via working hard at something that you really, really want to do. That's very hard to achieve, and building
Do you
those
think that's the same
personality
as
traits along the way.
do you think that's the same as somebody who was born into adversity? Like somebody who's born in like
Well, that's
South
the thing.
Sudan
That's the thing.
and
Yeah,
they had
self adversity. Yeah,
all the decks like against them versus somebody who's like, oh, I have opportunity because I live in UK or America or any of these prosperous countries in the West. Do you think
and
that
that's the great
it's
thing
the
is that
same?
everybody's so different, right? So some people don't need the exterior adversities because they were born into that shit. So since a young age, they've been going through constant adversity. So by the time that they hit a certain age, they're like, all right, I mean, if I don't really need to strive for it. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But then there's a large population who, especially in first world countries, who they just don't. Like a suburban kid is different than a kid who grew up struggling. You know what I mean? Like they're just
Yeah.
it's just different, bro. It's just not the same. So you might have to manufacture it, in some way. But at the end of the day, both help you in some way. Of course, one of them is kind of fucked up, but in some way they both kind of shape your personality.
Yeah. Do you think that the argument that you're making right now goes against what George was saying earlier?
Which one?
Because he was saying that I know Slice My Life was about like it doesn't matter what you're born into, you can change it, but you're
You, of
saying
course, can
what
change.
you're born
Yeah.
into, what you're born into dictates how you how the rest of your life goes. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like what you guys are
I
both
No,
don't know if
it's
saying.
that's
it's not it's
exactly.
not
Yeah,
like
yeah. I'm
it's
not sure that's what he was saying. I don't.
it,
I
it's
think
not
he
like
says
it's not like where you
it
started is where you'll
informs
end. It's
how
more
you
of like,
like navigate these things
yep.
like what you might have to like from what I heard John saying it, I heard it as like, yeah, if you're born in a situation with a lot of adversity, you can grow from facing those challenges. But if you're born in a situation where you have a lot of privilege and not necessarily a lot of adversity, what you're gonna need to grow is by like finding those challenges and putting yourself in a place where you have to work hard and like grow that way.
Mm.
100%. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. It's like
Oh,
it's not fair at all, but it's kind of like it is what it is situation, and both sides of it. I mean, if you come from privilege, you can make the best of that, and if you come from not privilege, you can also make the best of that. But there are different ways. Like we can't just put everybody into a blanket statement and say just be yourself because everybody's so different, and
yeah,
that just kind of confuses people at the end of the day. Where like somebody's like, well, be myself. I mean, I'm not really anybody. I haven't really formed who I am yet. I don't even know who I am, because I've never really had to go through any challenges to really
mm,
build either character or like integrity or those type of things like inner confidence. Like a lot of people, you kind of just it's easy. It's a lot easier, and when things are easier, it doesn't really force your body to have to adapt, and that adaptation that your body makes, that kind of strengthens you. Adaptation is like one of the body's best mechanisms for getting stronger, like in
Right.
working out and
Yeah.
like mental scarring. Like it really, adaptation is what's really going to help
Bro,
uh self development.
while we're
yeah.
on that point,
I apologize for misrepresenting your point. Then
while we're on
I
that
Nah,
think I
nah,
agree
point,
with
you
you a
should.
lot.
so when I was in Dallas, um, this family came to our booth. We were like selling gloves and stuff. And this family came to our booth, and this kid like he's like looking at the gloves, and when he's done looking at them, he just drops them on the floor and walks away. And his mom like picks the glove up, puts it back, and like follows after him, and like I just couldn't help but to like shake my head because I'm like, this is bad parenting right there because this kid has no awareness of his surroundings or like why what he just did was wrong. He just like basically defaced the product, and his mom is like cleaning up after him. I'm like,
after him. Yeah.
if this was my mom,
Yep.
she sort of grabbed me, brought me back, and like pick that up, like and put it back where you got it from, right?
Right.
And then like now I have the awareness that like, oh, I can't just do things like this. I have to be aware of the things I manipulate with my body and how I impact the world around me. But you see a bunch of grown ass people out here like who lack those skills because they were coddled growing up. They were raised in such a way that didn't require them to face things that said like, oh, I have to pay attention
Yeah.
to other people. I have to pay attention to how I carry myself in the world, how I impact people,
Oh,
how I think about things like, and like I think it's a real disservice. Like people will say like in my opinion, privilege can also be a poison. Um because
yeah.
True.
to like
And there's
John's
one thing.
point,
Go ahead and
no,
finish.
to
Go ahead
John's
and finish.
point, like there's
I'm
just a
sorry, but
lot there's just a lot of skills that people don't get because they never have to like face certain things or try certain things. But yeah, go on, Dar.
And it's yeah.
the
Go ahead.
the one thing that I want to add, and John, I think you might agree with me on this, is I think one issue is people who are parents are so focused on making sure that their kids are happy and always feel fulfilled or feel like their life is going to go well. But I think your role as a parent isn't to be your kid's best friend. It's to be somebody who holds them accountable. And to what George is saying, um, sometimes you have to hold your kids accountable and be the asshole in the story where your parents like, nah, oh, you threw the glove on the floor. I'm gonna drag you back and make sure that you know how to treat other people. And I think one big problem that millennials who are having a lot of kids now, Gen Zs who are going to be having, I mean, there's a lot of Gen Zs who have kids now, but Gen Zs who are going to have more kids, and then Generation Alpha or X, whatever they call themselves next. Like, your job as a parent isn't to be your kid's best friend. Your job is to be making sure that they're a productive person in society and hold them accountable so that they know how to be respectful. And I think that's something that's one thing that I think is missing, not from just our generation, but generations prior, where people are too quick to be like, "Oh, my kid's an angel," but
Yeah,
not not also hold them accountable
I feel
when
like
they're being dickheads.
there's been this sort of um overcorrection that is taking place where because older generations parented in such like a what, and I shouldn't make it such a blanket statement because there are older there are older parents who didn't parent this way, but I'll say as a general rule for let's like even classify it. I'll say as a general rule for like middle to lower middle class to like working poor families, the older generations parented more with like an iron grip, right? And there's been this overcorrection that's happened where people are like, well, my parents were assholes. They like neglected my emotions, my feelings. They like physically abused me, all these things.
Right.
And so now we get gentle parenting where it's like, all right, I'm gonna be my kid's best friend. I'm gonna just always be like kind of tepid and timid with how I address them. Which and like
Exactly.
everyone doesn't always approach it that way. Some people are more firm. Um, but then you get the folks who interpret it in such a timid and tepid way where it's like I let my kid basically do whatever the fuck they want and like tell them, oh, you shouldn't do that, and like think the kid has the reasoning skills to like be able to acknowledge that that was wrong. And so
We're going
we
back
all
to that
these kids
conversation
who
of
aren't
being
held accountable.
these kids.
No,
Beat them.
we're not beating the kids though.
No, I'm sorry.
Full
I'm sorry.
circle. Full circle. No, no, but honestly though, like in all seriousness, privilege is a good thing too. Like, let's not get it twisted that these parents,
No, no,
they
no.
probably work their ass off to put their kids in, but privilege
Everyone
has to
should
be
have
combined
everyone
with.
should have their needs met. Everyone should have a situation where they can like have access to the things they need for sure, but also some things that they want. Like the problem isn't like privilege full stop. The problem is like this pattern that we're seeing in some privileged situations.
Yeah, see, the problem is privilege has to be combined with forced adversity or manufactured adversity. Now, if you don't have privilege and you go through like automatic adversity, like that's kind of ingrained in not having privilege, and you kind of like struggle, that's kind of ingrained in that, so it's already there. But if you do have privilege, you have to combine it with some kind of forced adversity, or else you're fucked. That's why you see a lot of these really like 1% rich kids and these celebrities, they all like do drugs and stuff like that because they're trying to fill a
Yeah, no,
void,
no, actually,
because they never
yes.
went through anything to really
Yeah.
build their character. And it's so common. You see all these rich people; they're all, their sons and
Everyone's on
daughters are
like
all fucked up in the
oxy
head.
and things like that because like, it's like they don't
Yeah,
like life is so hollow because it's like there's no real challenge in life. Like there's no
because
Ooh,
there's
John,
a
that's
there's a dopamine response in the brain when, okay, when you fail at something and you achieve it. They've done studies on this. There's a really good lasting effect in the brain with chemicals with dopamine. You get a really big hit of dopamine, and it lasts for a long time. Like,
real
it's a
quick.
sense of fulfillment.
Can we
That's
all tell
Yep.
Rocco P49 to follow because he's been here for like an hour now and hasn't dropped a follow, so I'm just confused. Like Rocco, what are we doing, bro?
Rocco, what are you
Lottie
doing, bro?
is
Like,
following, Logie is following,
also
Spin is following.
random,
Rocco, what are we doing?
random statement. My man, slice of life. Let's work on these transitions. Let's find better moments in the conversation to tell people to follow.
Nah, nah,
And
nah,
when my
nah, nah,
boys
nah, nah,
is
nah,
cooking,
nah,
my
nah,
boy's
nah.
cooking right now. My boy is cooking right now. My man, not John, is throwing it
Yo,
down,
yo,
and you're
yo.
like, "Hey,
That should
that's a great
be
idea.
John. John,
Put
that
it
should
on
be your name,
pause."
not John. You should really like.
not John. I actually like that.
Also,
Not
you
John.
guys should make
I'm with it.
profile pictures for Discord because when like right now I'm not playing a game. I just have the Discord up. If you like go to the stream and y'all just have like the regular Discord shit and it doesn't look as spicy. Y'all should make
All right, bet. I got you.
Oh
not
yeah,
I'm gonna
you
make
we
a real
should.
good
specifically
one.
like you, but
But
like just something that
yeah,
just the Discord thing.
I'll get a
Yeah,
picture of you. How about that?
No, 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 that's not necessary.
dude, how great would that be if we all put pictures of
Joe,
slice of my
just
life?
slice my life. Yeah, let's all do that. Yo, that would be sick. All different like pictures, like screenshots, IG, just like
It's just
put.
like it's just me like talking with my multiple personalities.
All
That'd
right,
be great.
wait. Our ADD's kicking in. All right, where were we? Oh, was I
Yeah, I
talking? Oh
was
yeah.
saying you were talking. I was saying that Jorge is being an asshole for cutting you off.
Oh shit.
My like
All right, so
goal,
basically,
my I don't really hold on guys. See, because you guys can't see the chat, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Y'all got to figure out a way to be able to see the chat. Um,
I was basically saying that when they've done many studies, and this is where all of what I'm saying comes from, where the dopamine response that you get after a success, after succeeding at something, after failing at it, is way better. And it's a lasting like self fulfillment. So when people say I'm happy, I don't give a shit about being happy. And I don't think anybody should give a shit about being happy, because happiness is a state of mind, and state of minds go up and down. You might have a good day, bad day, good day, bad day. You don't want to live your life based on how happy you are, because life hits you
can
like a
I
brick.
can
You
I
want to
jump
you
on
want to
that
live
when you're
you
done?
want
That happiness point.
yeah, yeah, you want to live your life how off of how fulfilled you are. And fulfillment comes from success after failure. I'm not just talking about monetary. There's a lot of things in life you can succeed at after failing. Monetary is the one I like a monetary success after failure. That's cool to me. I find it fun, but it could be anything that you think that you want to get to. You fail at it and then you succeed. That's gonna give you fulfillment in life that happiness just won't give you. All right, go ahead, George.
No, I think John, I think like to your point about everyone being obsessed with being happy all the time also becomes this very like harmful thing where you're I I'll like talk about another date I went on. I was on a date with this girl and she was like reminiscing about how she grew up and she basically started to talk about how she damn this man got me to my light goal. Shout out to you, Logie. Um
Oh, dude, Logie,
this guy
let's
like
go.
distracted, but what was I saying? Oh yeah,
W's in the
so
chat for my man Logie.
yeah, dubs in that chat, dubs in that chat, dubs in that chat, baby. um, but yeah, so this girl is basically like reminiscing on her like how she grew up, and she was saying how like she would not listen to any song if it was sad. She would not like if anything happened that was like some like just didn't give you good feelings. She would like avoid it because her whole thing and like the people who raised her were all about like you gotta look on the positive side and be happy, such that they would just ignore things that weren't good and like just pretend like it didn't happen. So it became this really like fucked up situation. Um and like
Mm-hmm.
where like some girl got like murdered in the library and like
Oh
they just
shit.
cleaned it up and like no one ever talked about it again because like that was like that didn't fit with the we're all happy narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That sort of need to be happy all the time, which is not a realistic thing because life ain't like all sunshine and rainbows and like happiness
There's
is a
cloudy
state of
days and
mind,
there's
but
sunny days,
yes,
even
clouds,
weather.
yo, you got to be able to be sad. You got to acknowledge like when things are bad, and that's okay. But like this idea that you have to
Nature
be
doesn't work like
happy
that.
all the time, I think it mentally like erodes like people's perception of reality. Like they like start to like jump through all these mental hoops to try and like put some positive spin on things where a positive spin doesn't exist or where we need to acknowledge that something is fucked up and deal with it and not act like it's sunshine and rainbows. And I think a lot of where we see this like trying to force yourself to be happy is in predominantly like upper middle class, not even like working rich where it's like you still have a job and you have to go to work but like you're pretty rich like those those communities where it's like you didn't like you like came from a working rich family and you're working rich again, whereas like some communities it might be like people came from like a middle class background and now they're in that like working rich class, like that tier of like working rich to working rich seems to want to like create this image of like everything is always okay. And I'm like, that's not real life, that's not healthy like that, because then the kids cannot deal with their emotions that aren't positive, so they do things like this girl did where it's like I'm just gonna run away from all the things that aren't positive. um and like luckily for her she came to deal with that in a healthy way later on, but not everyone does, and then you get these kids who are like fucked up.
Yeah, I think it goes back to what my boy Not John was saying,
Not
where
John.
the
Yeah, it's actually a great name. Not John is
but,
a great
but
name.
yeah, Not John. If you ever become famous, you got to give me credit for that one.
I'll give you like a 1% royalty of whatever I make.
But it goes back to what my boy was saying, where it's like, if you're not challenged or you don't have to face this adversity, it's it's something that you're not able to deal with. So because of that, you make sure that everything seems okay. Because when it doesn't, you don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
and,
And it's
and
like
there's
you like
okay, so
lack tools. You lack tools that you need. You lack serious tools.
Yeah, but I think it's up to somebody's parent. Like their parents should give them the tools for that. It doesn't matter how much money
Shout
you
out to you,
make. You can
Scotty.
make sure that your kids are going to be well off. Oh, Scotty, drop a fucking W in the chat. I miss you,
Yeah,
bro.
W for Scotty. Thank you.
You're
W's
a
in
good
the
dude.
fucking chat.
Yeah, Scotty's a good dude. Also, that man can cook. Um,
Facts.
I don't. I think it's a responsibility as a parent to make sure that your kids are uncomfortable so they can deal with uncomfortable situations. No Diddy,
Yeah.
Drake. Um, like it's your job to be like, oh, you don't like what's going on, figure it out. Oh, you're not happy about the way this worked out. I might be your dad, but I'm not your savior. Figure this out. You need this skill set to deal with unfortunate situations.
And like
But
you can
if
definitely
if you
teach
don't
them these
have that,
skill sets too, right? Like you don't have to just leave them like high and dry. But like yes, they definitely have to be able to solve problems on their own.
oh, a
And
thousand percent,
you know what's so big, right? Without having to like hold your child's hand. Like for me personally, um, I want to be able to set an example for my child, not by what I tell him, because what you tell them in one ear out the other. What's
Right.
really big with especially with children from ages like 7 all the way up until probably 18, 20, even maybe beyond that, it depends on who it is they view, so what they're like their sensory
So I'll be back in like
surroundings,
2 minutes. Have
that's
a
what they
fast food
take
to
in.
keep going.
Yeah, that's what they take in, and that's what really resonates. So they'll, if like let's say you have a son, your child's gonna watch how you act and emulate you without them even realizing. It's gonna be subconscious.
right?
Like I have a lot of my mannerisms of my dad and don't even realize it. And I'm sure a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
who kind of especially a parent who you latch onto doesn't, it could be like a grandmother or whatever, you definitely portray some of their like what they view, like kind of in some form or fashion that kind of sticks with you. So it's really about leading by example rather than just telling, and that's probably the most, honestly, the most important. And that's why I'm saying, as a young man, especially at a young age like that, you should try to develop yourself into the best possible person to create a better future generation, so that
Yeah,
it kind of is momentum. So you create a better you, so that you can create a little you who will create a better them, and it just creates a better society. That's how you really change the world.
there's two things that I want to say personally, and one of them is a question, and the other one is just a statement for myself. And I would like to hear both of you guys' perspective on the statement, and I want to hear what you guys both think on the question.
Yep.
Number one, my statement is I want to leave my children whenever I die. I want to be able to be confident that my kids are going to be okay by themselves, whether it's the world goes to shit and they're dropped off in the middle of the woods, all the way to the point where it's like everything is going great and they know how to think for themselves and devise a future for themselves where they will be happy. And for me personally, I don't care how much money my kids make, but I want them to be happy. That's my personal perspective. So that's number one. Number two, I would love to hear what are three skills that I think you guys want to leave for your children. Boys, girls, non-binary. We don't know what's going to happen, or
Yeah.
anything beyond that.
I mean, definitely. I mean, first of all, the first skill is like we've been talking about this whole time. Resilience is that's number one. That is number one on the list. You have to have that. That's a non-negotiable. I will put my kids through bullshit. Like I'll if they don't have any adversity, I'll make them go play a sport, or
I hear you. I hear you.
or
If they
join
don't
some
get,
shit so that
you're going to believe them, or I'll believe them.
what
If they don't get bullied, I can bully them for you. Keep
type
resilient.
shit, type shit. All right. All right. That's number one. Second is, I mean, the resilience is going to build a lot of the other skills. I want them to see. I don't want to teach them skills. I just, at the end of the day, I want to have them have fulfillment. I don't care about their happiness. I want them to feel
Mhm.
fulfilled in life, because there's so different things. I don't give a shit if they're sad or happy, whatever. Because deep down, if they're fulfilled, oh, the long term happiness will be there. So I mean, fuck, I'll probably say just like this, just one skill, and that's resilience. That's it. Not even three. They don't need
Uh,
three.
All right. Well, I mean, you left two, so it was fulfillment and resilience.
Well, is fulfillment a skill though, or is that just a
Yeah,
product of
it's a skill. It's a
your
skill.
environment?
No, it's a skill. You have to learn how to. What are the things that are going to make you fulfilled, and then go after it. I
Okay,
think those are two.
about
I think
that.
those are two things that are hand in hand, right? Like you
Yeah,
can't be resilient and not fulfill your dreams, right? Like those things don't. Those things are equivalent, but
yeah.
um,
And
I
I feel
think
like
those are
if you put
hand
it
in
that
hand.
way, I was kind of viewing it. I was saying fulfillment as like a result, but if you kind of turn it that way, it could be potentially a skill.
Mm. All right. Well, slice my life. What do you think if you have to give them, if you have kids and you have to give them three things that are skill based? What would you give them?
Yeah, that's crazy because you said that right when I got back. Wait, if I had to give my kids three skills, what would I give them?
Yeah, but yeah, you know, go ahead and answer it that way. I'm not sure if you heard my boy Not
Or just
John,
no,
but
no. I was gone. I just got back.
uh, yeah, but if you were gonna pass on three traits to your kids,
Oh, traits.
what would you
Okay,
pass them?
traits.
Yeah, skills, traits, it doesn't
I would
matter.
pass my kids curiosity, um,
That's a good one.
resilience, and um, courage.
And what was the last one?
Courage. And like,
Courage.
if I could do four, I would throw in compassion there too. But curiosity, resilience, courage, compassion.
Well, I think that's probably the best answer I've heard. Not John. I liked your answer, but George
My
has a
my
better one.
mine is more like I'm gonna let them kind of, instead of like plucking them in and fucking making a Sims character, I'm gonna make them, give them that one skill and have them kind of develop into their own person. And I just think that's such a powerful thing. That one trait, that single handedly one trait that they're gonna develop. Because even if they become kind of a shitty person, they're gonna go through shit because life knocks you back down, right? If you are a bad person,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna get knocked down, and they're gonna learn from that, especially if they don't have any like traumatic parenting like that. Like I'm not like abusive and all that stuff. They're not gonna have any shitty upbringing. They're gonna have a good upbringing. And I think like me personally as a dad, I think dads keep sons out of jail